Andy Card comes up to behind me and says, "Second plane has hit the second tower, America's under attack."
How do you even process that information? Look at him, he just is silent.
9/11 would become a date to remember. It's the job of a president is to protect the American people from harm. And some presidents don't need to worry about that, and some do. And it turns out I was one that did.
We're literally reading a children's book to elementary kids whilst you've just gotten the most unexpected, tragic, catastrophic news, and you still even haven't processed just how serious this is for the nation. So a lot of you guys want me to check out George Bush's initial reaction to when the whole 9/11 stuff was going on. Apparently he was literally reading to elementary school kids in Florida, right? From what I'm aware. And yeah, we see his initial reaction. And that's just crazy to me to think, because it happened so early in the morning, like kids would have literally been in school, and hopefully there was no news playing on, and those who weren't in or around there could like at least be sheltered to just hearing such tragic news for the first time. At least maybe they would have heard it. Hopefully they would have heard it through maybe their parents or something, rather than just seeing the things on the news. But nonetheless, guys, look, for a bit of context, I don't really know much about what happened. These videos, some of the videos I've checked out so far have been educating me on just how bad it was, some of the key events. And yeah, man, in the video that I checked out recently to George, like to the events that transpired, there was a little segment of George Bush's reaction, and today I'm going to be checking out it's in its entirety, or more in context, for the first time. So yeah, I'm really interested to see this. Of course, guys, look, for those guys that aren't aware, there's some bonus content on the Patreon at the moment. Certain platforms getting sensitive, so I cannot post all the reactions that I want to do on here. So if you guys want to get that extra bonus content from me, it'll go on that Patreon. You also get access to all of my movie reactions, my sitcom watch parties, my album reviews. So if you guys want to get that extra dose of nostalgia, as well as a Gen Z perspective on a lot of these classics from the times where a lot of you guys would have been growing up in, then I'll definitely recommend checking out the Patreon link in the description. Go support the channel if you guys love my content. Of course, guys, don't forget to subscribe as well. Turn on the post notification. If you guys like seeing me going down this road of curiosity, then yeah, definitely subscribe to the channel, guys. And look, with that being said, let's get straight into this video. Let's go. George W. Bush describes the moment he realized America was under attack on September
9/11 would become a date to remember. It's the job of a president is to protect the American people from harm. And some presidents don't need to worry about that, and some do. And it turns out I was one that did.
Broski was in an elementary school when it happened.
My assistant came in and said, "A plane is at the World Trade Center." And I said, "Well, that's a strange accident." And I called the president.
Yeah,
Initially, we thought maybe a small plane of some kind. And he said, "Well, keep me posted."
He'd been told that a small twin-engine prop plane crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center. You know, oh, that's a horrible accident. I was concerned, but I did not think of it as a national security threat.
I remember when he
That's
came in.
mad. People weren't even real. The people that were hearing about it, that may not have saw it on the news, were genuinely thinking it was an accident, which makes sense, because you wouldn't naturally assume that you're getting attacked, like that was some sort of attack. That's why I didn't even realize. Yeah, that it makes sense. You probably wouldn't even be thinking. You'd be thinking, oh, unfortunately, a plane just went off course or something. Wow.
Or it malfunctioned. Think of it as a national security threat.
I remember when he came in, even as a 7-year-old, you know who the president is, right? And I remember like even feeling like that young, feeling like kind of like starstruck and giddy, like I'm going to Disney World or something. And
where we got a student talking about it growing up now, when this is mad. This is mad.
And even as a 7-year-old, you know who the president is, right?
She was
and
7.
I remember like even feeling like that young, feeling like kind of like starstruck and giddy, like I'm going to Disney World or something. And I put my hand over my heart. Like when you think about patriotic things when you're that little, you do the Pledge of Allegiance every day, and I literally put my hand over my heart.
I asked my communicators if they could find a television. And at about 1 minute after 9, they came back in with a television set. So we brought CNN up. I was calling the White House Situation Room to talk to my senior duty
Who's
officer.
this woman? It says White House Situation Room MC Director. Okay, interesting. So she asked for a TV.
After 9, they came back in with a television set. So we brought CNN up. I was calling the White House Situation Room to talk to my senior duty officer. So I was chatting with him on the handset and watched the television as the rest of the country was watching the television at 9:03 when the second aircraft impacted into the second World Trade Center tower.
She's even...
When the second plane hit, there was an audible gasp of air in the room. Some people put their hand on their chest. It was two realizations, right? One, that the immediate death toll.
Yeah.
And then the fact that this was an attack on America.
This is so deep.
Get ready. Yes, light. Get ready.
It hits me as I'm standing there
That woman that talked about the second plane hitting, the fact that she almost choked up just saying that, like, you can just see how much this triggered, like, this event really triggered those around them who were really there when it happened. Like, and it's crazy because I'm watching this from like almost from like a historical lens. Like, this is like an event in history that happened that I didn't experience, but so many guys who are watching this did. And it's crazy to just think about just how much this is hitting for you guys, man. And again, my heart goes out to you guys.
And then
this is hitting. This is a hard watch.
This was an attack on America,
even for me.
More. Yes, more. Get ready.
And I don't even know how
it hits
deep
me as I'm standing there next to the president to the left, that the president's the only one that doesn't know the second plane has hit the building.
Mad, he didn't.
I had to deliver a message that the president didn't expect to hear and was almost unbelievable.
This is crazy.
But it also literally was the message he had to hear.
Yeah.
Whether he wanted to or not.
Andy Card comes up to behind me and says, second plane has hit the second tower, America's under attack.
How do you even process that information? Look at him, he just is silent. I can't imagine what was going through his head in that moment, but I'm sure he might even say it now, but could you imagine just being him? Right? Well, I'm being anyone in this situation, but I could, like, this is mad. How you react to this.
And I'm watching a child read.
Yeah.
And then I see the press in the back of the room beginning to get the same message I just got. And I could see the horror etched on the face of the news people who had just gotten the same news.
Oh my gosh.
During a crisis, it's really important to set a tone and not to panic. And so I waited for the appropriate moment to leave the classroom. I didn't want to do anything dramatic.
Wow.
I didn't want to, lurch out of the chair and scare the classroom full of children. And so I waited.
Try it again.
Wow,
Get
that's...
ready for the beginning of that sentence. Get ready.
He did well, you know.
I was studying him intently, and his mouth was kind of drawn and tight. And there was almost, for just a brief moment, sort of a startled look in his eyes.
Yeah,
and
you can
also
see his eyes
a weightiness
flickering.
to him, if you will. I could tell he was really focused on trying to get through that event.
You have to put on a brave face for the
literally
children.
seeing the mindset of the President of the United States play out on TV. Everything about what he thought he was about as a president is changing right in front of you. We hear about the great wartime leaders, Churchill, Roosevelt, others, days, if not weeks, to process and gird themselves for what was ahead. This is all happening in real time.
Literally. And I'm sure that, you know, that's one of those moments that he'll remember for the rest of his life. Like, you're literally reading a children's book to elementary kids whilst you've just gotten the most unexpected, tragic, catastrophic news. And you still even haven't processed just how serious this is for the nation. Because that's a level you need to process as a president. You've got to take into consideration, what does this mean for the nation? Does this mean war now? How do you, like he said, set the tone for the country? Because you now can't start panicking, let alone the kids in the room. You can't start going out there panicking, causing mass hysteria around, even more so for all of those who are hearing it. Maybe the country goes, like, so much can happen. Like, how the fact that he had to process that is insane. I can't even imagine, let alone the reactions that a lot of you guys would have had when you heard of it on the news. You can imagine now if you've gone on you've seen how the president's looking at, and he's like just crumbling, like panicking, running about, and let alone those kids. Imagine that extra layer of trauma that it could have been for them. At least that, you know, childhood memory of reading a book in elementary school and the president came in wasn't like just taken away, it wasn't like an added level of trauma, because now they're thinking, oh my God, the president came and now he dashed out and he looked panicked. Like, they can remember, oh my God, he kept a brave face and he knew what would have happened. And it's kind of like a better memory to process. But then again, it's just still such a traumatic thing. And yeah, man, there's so many like layers to this, and this is a real event. This really happened, and that's still something that I'm really struggling to get my head around, because it doesn't even sound real. It doesn't even sound real, but it happened, and it is real, and real people were affected by it. People are watching. You guys, some of you guys maybe who are watching this right now were affected by this. A lot of you guys probably would have, that are watching this, were affected by this. Majority even. So again, man, my heart goes out to you guys. Like I've been doing for these like recaps of me learning about these things for the first time. Look, let's get red hearts and comments below if you made this a point. So for everyone that was affected by this. If you look, I recently checked out the boat side, the rescue, the boat rescue video, and just to see how much people galvanized through this, I feel like that's like an important silver lining to realize, like, this is one of those moments, even though as catastrophic as it was, it's inspirational and motivating to see just how much the nation came together on a moment like this. So yeah, I guess I'll leave it on that. But yeah, guys, thank you for enlightening me with videos like this. Let me know what other videos you want me to check out. Again, if you want to see my whole journey of me learning from basically knowing little about 9/11 to what I know now, I'll leave a playlist at the end of the video. Maybe share some things, what you guys remember. Like, what was your reaction when you first heard about this news? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching, man. Like, I've been your boy JayFlex. This has been me checking out George Bush's reaction. And for those guys who made this point, you guys have been wonderful. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.